and welcome to another video. I had an order come in from Etsy, so I thought, seeing as how it's an order that I actually need to make, I might as well bring you along for the process. We are sublimating today. The order is for some placemats. I do have some in stock, but at the moment they are all tucked away in the cupboard. So save me having to get everything out the cupboard, because it would be in the very last box, as we all know. Save me having to do that. It's just as quick to make some fresh print to order products. So that's what I'm going to do. If you have no idea what sublimation is, I will talk you through the process in this video. And yeah, just another little behind the scenes glimpse at what I do and how my products are made, because they are all made by me. So yeah, might be interesting to you, who knows? If it is interesting, stick around and you'll find out a little bit more. So here we are. This is my Etsy shop. Yes, I definitely need to update it. This is the shop, and the order that I received was for placemats. There's a Westwood Ho one, and if I can find it. As you can see, I've got all my products, well, most of my products in here. A Biddeford placemat was ordered, an Appledore one, and a Cavelli one. So that is what I have to make today. So as you can see, I don't just have the one printer, which you saw in my last video, the one I do my prints on. I also have a second printer. This is also an Epson printer. It is an ET7750 for anybody that's interested. It's an EcoTank printer, but when I bought it, I never actually put the Epson inks that did come with it. I didn't put those in because to do the sublimation, you have to have special inks, sublimating inks. So that's what I filled my printer up with, and that's everything that I sublimate, all my coasters, my key rings, placemats, mugs, etc. I use that printer. It's solely for my sublimating. So that's the printer I shall be using today. I have to use a special paper. This is what I use. It's S-Race, and basically it's a special sublimating paper. It's just nothing to see really, it's just plain white. You'll see in a minute when the print comes out, it looks very dull by comparison to a normal printer. But that's because when you sublimate something, the heat causes like a gas, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but it captures the ink or presses the ink into the item that you are sublimating. So special ink, special paper, and also the product itself. So these are the placemats. This is how I get them. They are just white, but they do have a special surface on it, which when it's put under heat, and I press these at 205 degrees, so very hot, it captures the ink, and you'll see that what was a dull image on the paper is definitely not dull anymore. So that's how the process begins. I've got to print the image onto the paper using the special inks, print onto what is currently a white placemat, white wooden placemat, and then you'll see the result at the end of it. So it's quite exciting really. I remember the first time I ever did it, I was actually blown away. I did a coaster first, and yeah, it's quite something to see really. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to crack on with it now. I've already put my paper into the printer, which you should have seen at the very start of this video. So now I simply have to send my print to the printer. So the image is printed, and I just like to check it to make sure there's no printing errors. And so as you can see, that looks pretty dull. That's how it looks initially. You kind of panic that you haven't done it right, but don't be fooled by this dull image on this paper. Now I need to stick the placemat onto the paper, and again I have to use a special heat tape for that, otherwise the tape would just melt under the heat when it's in the heat press. I shall do that with this one, and then in a minute I'll get the others going, and I won't necessarily talk you through every single step of those because you'll already know what's occurring. And we're going to turn the heat press on and wait for that to heat up to 205 degrees, and then we'll be able to print it. I give the placemats a bit of a wipe down just to make sure there's no dust on them, because if I was to print the placemat with a speck of dust, obviously that where that speck of dust is, the placemat can't absorb the ink, and so when it comes out you just get a little white spot. Nobody wants a little white spot. So now I just place it onto the paper. I always print the image a little bit bigger than the placemat, just so that I can have a bit of maneuver room. If the image is slightly bigger than the actual placemat, then I'm not going to end up taking the placemat out and find the edges that hello, are you there? Get lower and lower, and find that the edges haven't printed. So that's why I do that. This is my special heat tape, so that's what I use. I've secured the placemat to the image, and now I need to turn the heat press on. That does take about anywhere sort of 3 to 5 minutes to heat up, so got to wait for the heat press to reach the actual temperature, and then we are good to print or press. This is the temperature here, which will steadily creep up towards 205. This is how long I press the placemats for, 65 seconds, and this is how many prints my heat press has already done. So while we're waiting, what can I tell you? I heard back from the pannier market and my application has been approved, but at the moment, because it's being refurbished, they can't actually give you a dedicated slot. So I need to ring up prior to wanting to go, and I won't actually be going until end of March, April. So although my application's been approved, I don't actually have any set dates confirmed, which is a bit of a shame because I would quite like to have something set in stone. But good news nonetheless, my picture is coming on. I have finished all the stonework on the building, thank the Lord, so that's good. So now I've just got to do the roof and just the rest, well, the train track, and well, quite a bit really. And also I want to go and get some photos of a train coming in, because I think I'm going to put a train, just coming into the station, because I think that would be pretty cool. So still a way to go on that, but it's coming together nicely. What else? You might have had a glimpse of a candle at the start of this video. Not going to say any more than that. We are currently at 90 degrees. I think whilst I'm waiting for the heat press to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and print the other images and set them all up ready for printing. Well, for pressing. press is beeping at me. So that means it's ready. So let's get on and do that to turn that beeping off, because it gets a bit annoying after a while. I'm gonna get it doing, and then I will explain. Well, I'll do it now. If you can put up with the beeping. Basically, I put my placemat down onto the heat press. I put a piece of butcher's paper over the top, followed by a heat-proof mat. So I just found, I didn't used to use the butcher paper, but I have discovered that using butcher paper really makes a difference in the quality of the print. So that's what I do for every coaster and every placemat now. Let's hurry up and get it in the machine. So I place the placemat with the image facing up. I then put my sheet of butcher's paper on the top, and then my heat-proof mat. And then I pull this down, which does require a little bit of strength, I'm not going to lie. And now we just have to wait for the 65 seconds to be up. As you can hear, the beeping has now stopped. It doesn't do that every time. It beeps to tell me that the machine has heated to temperature, and then it beeps 3 seconds before the lid is due to pop up, because it does pop up with quite a bang. So ideally it's good to be here holding the handle. We just need to wait now until the 65 seconds is up. So obviously it's all very hot at this stage. I have special heat-proof gloves which I wear. So I just want to pop that on. And then we need to remove the heat-proof paper, the butcher's paper, and take placemat out and just see how it's printed. So here you can see the image where the ink has come away and gone into the placemat, and I will now show you the placemat itself. So there it is. Just take the heat-proof paper sticky tape off, and that's the placemat all printed. As you can see, the colours are much more vibrant. I take you around like this, pop that down a minute. There you go. So it prints really, really well. The image is crisp, it's clear, the colours are good. Yeah, I really like it. So yeah, I have to leave that to cool down now, and whilst that is cooling down, I shall get the others done. The Biddeford, Westward Ho and Covelli one, and then I will show you how they come out as well. We have it. I'll show them. I lay them down to let them cool, and I actually leave them there then for an hour or so just to cool and do their thing. I've currently got them on a heat-proof mat, but I will show them to you. How hot are they still? They're still quite hot. So I just pop my glove on. This is the Westward Ho one. I really love how I draw these images, and then I love what I can do with them. So they can be prints, coasters, placemats. I can put it on a mug. It's just so satisfying what I can produce from one drawing. Then I've got the Covelli one. If you've ever been to Covelli, it's a really lovely, picturesque little fishing village. It's quite a steep walk down and an even steeper walk back, but well worth visiting if you've never been. And then obviously the Appledore one you saw, and so this one, the Biddeford one, that's my local town. And it's called the Little White Town, by the way, because Charles Kingsley wrote a book called Westward Ho, And in it he referred to Bideford, the little white town, because at the time the buildings were all white, hence its name. Been that way for ages. I just leave them now on the heatproof mat to just cool down, ready for packaging. I wouldn't send these out till tomorrow now. Sometimes with wooden products you can get a touch of bowing just where it's been pressed with the heat, so I just like to make sure that nothing like that has occurred. So then I'll package them tomorrow, ready to be put in the post. So there they are on the heatproof mat. So there we are. That is the process of sublimation, and yeah, I love it. You do get mistakes. It's like sometimes the tape tucks in underneath, so when you take the placemat off the heat press and you find the tape, you get a white mark where the ink hasn't been able to press through. So there's a few things to watch out for when you're doing it, but obviously the more you do, the better you get, like with most things in life. So that's how I make my placemats. The process for making the coasters is exactly the same. I can just print more of them at one time. Mugs require a different process. I actually have a mug press for that. Same method, obviously the heat is needed to press the ink into the cup. That's that. That is how I make the placemats and the coasters. For all of you have asked me over the years how I do it, that is how it's done. So hopefully that was of interest to some of you. I shall now clear up my mess and get my iPad out and carry on with my train picture. It is looking beautiful out there. With the heat press on, it gets quite warm. So when I'm sitting here with the warm heat press, looking at the sun, and it's tricking me into thinking it's a beautiful summer's day out there. I'm pretty sure it's not as warm as it looks. You mark my words, spring is here, summer's not far away. So yes, I'm going to go. I'm going to go and get on with my day and all the other things I have planned. And I will see you in the next video. I won't say how long away that is, because who knows? I might have another order come in and let you join in with that one too. Thank you if you watched this one. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, over and out. And yeah, take care. Have a good weekend. All right. See you soon. Bye.